Welcome back to another nature-based game. This time we're going to be doing a tournament arc between 16 species that you can find in the UK. Each pairing will be randomly assigned a scenario, and then based on scientific evidence, one of them will emerge as a victor. What's more, this is taking place over a series of several videos, so you can participate too. You can drop a comment below to root for your favourites, and even include some scientific evidence behind why you think they're going to win, which can contribute to what the final outcome will be. Even if you're watching this after the videos have already come out and the game is finished, you can comment below which one you think is going to win, and then find out in the next video what's actually happening. So I'm going to use the rest of this video to explain how the game is going to run, how you can actually take part, and which animal species are going to be included in the tournament. I've got 16 species lined up who will each take part in the first round. The 8 winners will take part in the next round, the same for the 4 winners of that round, and then the final 2 will be matched up to decide the ultimate tournament winner. I've sorted the 16 species into 4 categories, which are the leading lords and ladies, the highland homes, the colossal creatures, and the creepy critters. The leading lords and ladies are made up of species where the groups typically have a sex-based dominant structure. The species I've chosen are European badgers and dunnocks, where males exhibit dominance, and black garden ants and tree bumblebees, where females exhibit dominance. The highland homes are made up of species that typically live in highland or mountain areas. The species I've chosen are capercaillie, ptarmigan, mountain hares, and wildcats. The colossal creatures are made up of species that are typically considered large compared to similar species. I've chosen the humpback whale and basking shark to represent our marine life. The other 2 species are white-tailed eagles and red deer, which are the largest UK land members of the bird and mammal groups. The creepy critters are made up of species that typically tend to be misunderstood. I've chosen the adder, giant house spider, nocturnal bat, and wood mouse. This tournament will take place over 4 videos. The first video is going to be 8 fights, each being a first fight of a species in the leading lords and ladies and the colossal creatures categories. The second video is going to be the remaining first fights of all the other species, which are the 8 fights for the creepy critters and the highland homes categories. The third video will look at the next 4 matchups, deciding who our category champions are going to be. After each video gets released, including this one, there's going to be a period of time where you're going to be able to have your say. Decide on which species you think will win for each of the fights, find some evidence that could back up your claim, and let me know in the comments. If there's any evidence in the comments, I'm going to be taking that into account while I'm writing the scripts for the next fights, and if there's anything that's particularly interesting, I'm going to be giving a shout out in that next video to whoever comes up with that piece of evidence. The final video will decide our finalists from the category champions, and then one last fight to decide the overall victor of the tournament. So how are these matchups actually going to take place? Well, based on any evidence that I managed to collect, both in my own research and from the comments below, I'm going to be writing a short story for each of the matchups. I'm going to be making this story narrated within the video and have an accompanying animation to show the species. I won't be using real animals in these videos because it might get a bit ethically questionable. But what about the setting for the fights? Well, here's where it gets a bit interesting, because I've decided to add in 5 sets of random circumstances that could crop up for each match. The first random circumstance will be the season that the match takes place in. Spring, summer, autumn and winter will each have an equal chance of taking place for each battle. Every species behaves differently depending on the season, so seasons are going to be affecting these pairings. The second random circumstance will be the habitat. I've selected a list of habitats that each species can be found in based on lists provided by the Wildlife Trust. Each matchup will have an equal chance of taking place in a habitat that one of the species is found in. So if species A is found only in woodland and species B is found in either woodland or grassland, there will be a 75% chance that the round takes place in a woodland and a 25% chance that it takes place in a grassland. The third random circumstance is the weather. There will be an equal chance of the weather being sunny, windy, rainy, thundering, foggy or hailing. Additionally, if the season is summer, there will be an option for heat waves, but in all other seasons there will be an option for snow. The fourth random circumstance is the possibility of a natural disaster. Because these aren't very common in the UK, there are going to be 2 checks. The first is whether or not a natural disaster will take place, with a 1 in 8 chance of one happening. The second check is which natural disaster it will be, out of those that commonly occur in the UK: flooding, earthquake, windstorm, drought, landslide, wildfire, or tidal surge. The fifth random circumstance is the possibility of external events. This will also have 2 checks, but there will be a 1 in 4 chance of them happening. Then the second check will determine which event takes place out of human interference with species A, human interference with species B, species A's food source appearing, species B's food source appearing, species A's enemy appearing, species B's enemy appearing, species A's mate appearing, and species B's mate appearing. Based on the results of the random circumstances, we will have set the stage, and based on the scientific evidence, we'll be able to see how each species is going to behave in the stage. Whoever wins the ensuing fight, or is able to stay within the battle stage the longest, is going to be declared the winner and be able to advance to the next round. But watch out, because if the winner gets injured during one of the rounds, this could carry over to the next one and impact the next battle. The next tournament video will look at the first fights for the leading lords and ladies and the colossal creatures. Who do you think is going to win? The badger or the dunnock? The black garden ant or the tree bumblebee? The white-tailed eagle or the red deer stag? The humpback whale or the basking shark? Let me know in the comments the 4 species that you think are going to take victory in the first round. If you've got any scientific evidence to back up that claim, you can also leave that in the comments, or you could just do some light-hearted trash talk about the species you don't think are going to win. Keep an eye out for the next tournament video to find out the results. If you want to support me in continuing to create these free educational videos, then check out my new Patreon page. I have 5 different monthly support tiers to choose from, ranging from just £2 up to the higher tiers where you can vote for video topics, have your name credited at the end of each video, receive personalised art of any UK species, and get one-on-one consultation calls with me on any nature-related topic of your choice. Subscribe to Ferroforest to keep learning about UK nature.